Hello, everybody, and welcome to From the Mezzanine, the Broadway podcast for the Broadway fans. Here we talk about all things Broadway news, Broadway grosses, and let's be honest, all of the tea and gossip that is happening week to week in this gorgeous, divine Broadway stratosphere that we all know and love so deeply. I am your host. I am your Broadway bestie. I'm Lindsey Stone. Welcome to From the Mezzanine, guys. We have a big week of Broadway news. I was pretty surprised because it felt kind of like there weren't any massive news stories this week. Just a lot of fun developments. One that I am acutely very interested in breaking down with the Broadway Besties. You'll know it when you hear it. And we will be getting to our Broadway news very shortly. But first, I have two shows that I need to recap with you guys that I saw this past week. I saw Queens at New York City Center, and then I saw Bat Boy a mere 2 hours ago. I saw Bat Boy. I want to start with Bat Boy because it's so fresh in my mind. I did not know much about Bat Boy. I just knew everybody and their mother were talking about this. I knew that the cast was incredible. We have Carrie Butler. We have Alex Newell. We have my man, Andrew Durand. We have Taylor Trench. We have Gabby Karuba. We have Marissa Jarrett Winokur. We have, oh my gosh, so many amazing Broadway performers. Christopher Sieber. And New York City Center really knows how to put on a revival. As we all know, we have Ragtime on Broadway right now. Last season, we had the incredible Urinetown that I still think about to this day. So when a show is headed on over to New York City Center and a lot of people are talking about it, it's creating a lot of word of mouth, I feel like I must go and see it. But since I didn't know anything about Bat Boy and it's running for literally 2 weeks, such a short period of time, I've been a little busy opening a Broadway show. Rob Lake Magic, ever heard of it? We had our opening night gala this past week, so it was a pretty busy week, but somehow, some way I found time to go and see Bat Boy in their very last performance. And so I know I don't need to give y'all a whole dissertation and review because it's over now, but I really did love it. The story is crazy and it's extremely hard to put into words what this made me feel because it made me feel a lot of feelings. And at the end of the day, I am very glad I saw it. I really enjoyed the performances and I thought the musical was just so camp and weird but fun that I did like it. And it will go down in the books as a check in my column that I did enjoy this musical. But it is one of the weirdest things that I've ever seen. And there's really there is quite a bit of explanation as to how Bat Boy is a Bat Boy. But it's entirely illogical and impossible, I hope. And it's just crazy. Basically, this feral boy is found and he has bat teeth and he is feral and this family brings him in, but he is feral and then he grows and he gets his CPA and he learns to read and he starts speaking with a British accent. He's a distinguished gentleman within the first 30 minutes of the musical. He goes from being this wild animal to this extremely poised little gentleman, and it's so cute and I loved that journey. That was probably the most interesting part of the musical to me, and Taylor Trench played an amazing feral Bat Boy. I was really interested and impressed by his physical comedy and physical characteristics that he gave Bat Boy because yeah, I believe that there is a person out there who is like a Bat Boy. Carrie Butler was a huge, outstanding performer in this show. She's everything. She has such a cool voice, such a beautiful voice. I say cool because she does have a unique voice. But it is so beautiful. Her acting skills are through the roof. Her comedic timing is perfect. She is a very well-rounded actress, and I know that that's not news to anybody. But it was just nice to see her on a stage in a role that was so meaty because I've only ever seen her actually perform with my own two eyes in Heathers. And so it was nice to see her in something that, like, she played the mother in this, and it was a great role for her. She was hysterical. It seemed challenging in ways. Oh my gosh, but she kind of carried this musical to me. She was, other than Taylor Trench, who was insane, and Gabby Karuba, a lot of people were insane. But like, I feel like, yeah, that trio of like Taylor Trench, Gabby Karuba, and Carrie Butler all held this musical. And I gotta say, how does Alex Newell find the one role? Like, you would think there was one role, but no, they're somehow able to find every role that has like, not too much acting, and then one big show-stopping song, and then you never see her again. Like, that the songs they do, it's just like circa Shocked. There's something else. No, I feel like maybe it's just Shocked. They like just appeared and they got Tony nominated and won, and they should have. They were very good. But it's just hysterical that Alex can just grace the stage, and then it's like, oh my God, it's Alex Newell, oh my God, and everybody loses their shit, and then they're gone just like that. As soon as you got comfortable hearing their crazy runs and seeing their beautiful face, poof, they're gone. Somehow they're able to find those diva down roles where they just get worshipped and adored, and then boom, it seems like they're out of there. Which good for them. It's like, you know, I gotta bring up Gutenberg. It's like how Timothy Chalamet would come on and sing Biscuits, and then just they would be like name above the title. Yeah, I feel like that's the Alex Newell effect, and I love that for them because they are incredible. But yeah, this show was unhinged to another degree. It's so weird too to see these performers who have led musicals all of a sudden be like a side character. Like Andrew Duran, he played like this like stupid high school boy, and he probably had like altogether maybe 20 lines, and he only really like gave us a good Andrew Duran belt one time. And I was like, man, I just loved you in Dead Outlaw, and now you're like a side character in New York City Center. And that's just because that's what City Center does. They get the best of the best for every role. And it's because their shows do not run very long. But yeah, Bat Boy was crazy. Maybe I'll have more to say next week when it like settles in a little bit more, because I struggle finding the words of how it made me feel. But there were some really good songs. My favorite song was Gabby Karuba's Deer in the Headlights song. Yeah, it's literally called Deer in the Headlights, so I guessed correctly. That was the best song. Her voice is next level. She's so talented. I never saw her perform in Just in Time, so I am new to the talents that are Gabby Karuba. Amazing. I really love her, and I'll be writing for her from here on out. I know a lot of people know her from Dear Evan Hansen. But yeah, what a voice on that girl. And she was super funny too. Loved her character. Really liked this musical. I'm curious where it will fall for me at the end of the year whenever I do my roundup and I like rank all of my musicals, because I just feel like it was so different and so camp. Like I'm going to have a really hard time comparing this to absolutely anything else. And I definitely think the best part of this musical was their cast. I think if you saw this with a not so good cast, it could be so bad. But luckily that was not the case with New York City Center Bat Boy. Next up, we have Queens. Now, I have a feeling maybe some of my listeners have not heard of Queens yet. This is playing at Manhattan Theater Club's New York City Center Stage 1. This play was interesting. Let me tell you a bit about the plot, and then also let me just let you know it stars Julia Lester, who we love from High School Musical, the musical, the series. She was in Into the Woods as Little Red. And this is a play about immigration in Queens, New York, and it kind of follows the comings and goings of this one apartment, this basement apartment in Queens where a handful of immigrant women live. And it was super eye-opening. It was set in like the early 2000s. And it just depicted a storyline that I've never seen play out on a stage before. I really felt like it, while it may not be based on a true story, people did live like this. And it was really it kind of like uncovered what it's like to be living in America, maybe past your visa, and trying to figure out how you can remain here. And the some people get blackmailed into their situation that they're in America, and like the hard times that these people can fall into. It told a very well-rounded and very interesting story. The lead woman, she is coming into the US from the Ukraine. She barely knows English. She knows one other person who lives in New York, and we know that she has had like a really difficult past. Most of all of the women that this follows are in America likely to send money back to their families, and they're like determined to get like a really good job and work their butts off in order to send money back home. So that's kind of like the gist of what and why these women are here in New York City and renting out literally just a cot in this apartment in a basement in Queens. But yeah, she comes in from the Ukraine, and over time we learn more about her story, why she's here. She has a daughter, why she hasn't been in touch with her daughter. There seems to be some familial issues. Her family doesn't want her to go back to Ukraine. And eventually Julia Lester's character, she comes in from Ukraine, and she was highly taken advantage of as an immigrant here in the US, and now she's kind of on the run. And she doesn't have a visa while she's here. So it just like was a really layered story with very different and diverse characters. That was something I personally I see all the time in New York, right? This is just a melting pot city. But just to kind of peel back the curtain and see what the life of some of these people is like and what they'll accept, because America is just put on this pedestal. It's the epitome of freedom and wealth, and it's so attainable here, like people are fed this idea of what America can be, and then they find out that it might not live up to that expectation, and there might not be nearly as much opportunity for them because they're immigrants. They might not be looked upon as the same as a US citizen. And it was really good. I truly enjoyed it. I love a primarily female cast. Actually, this was all female cast. And y'all know I just love anything where I feel like I'm learning. And I really felt like I left that theater with a new piece of knowledge that I did not have before, which is kind of my favorite thing. Feels like two birds, one stone. It's like am enjoying myself, but then I'm also learning so much while I'm just sitting here in a theater. That's my favorite thing. I really enjoyed Queens. I thought Julia Lester was amazing in it, but the entire cast was brilliant. Really great acting, and I would recommend it. I think it was very pleasant, very eye-opening, especially for somebody who lives in New York. Okay, with that, everybody, let's head on into our Broadway grosses. We have had the same remaining shows at the tippity top, and it is no different this week. We have Hamilton at number 1. Wicked is following Hamilton at number 2. Let me tell y'all, Hamilton grossed $3.4 million last week. Wicked grossed $2 million. That is a huge difference between our number 1 and our number 2. Top ticket price last week for Hamilton, $1,500. Wow. That is just so crazy. Lion King is our number 3, and Chess remains at our number 4. I need to see Chess again so bad, you guys. I'm still just reeling after seeing it the one time. I also need to watch, they were on, I think were they on the Fallon show? They were on some night show, and I need to see their performance, what they sang. I know all 3, Nicholas Christopher, Aaron Tveit, and Leah Michelle, I believe, were all performing. So I need to watch that. Maybe I'll watch it on the Meet Me at the Stage tour. Waiting for Godot is our number 5. Art is 6. Mamma Mia is 7. So What has bumped Mamma Mia down is Chess, Waiting for Godot, and Art. Because Mamma Mia was our strong fourth player every single week. But these new shows, they're bumping things down. Just in Time is 8. Ragtime is 9. Wow, that's really good for them. And MJ is 10, rounding out our top 10 in Broadway shows. The other ones that are just so close to peeking into the top 10 is Oh Mary, Maybe Happy Ending, Death Becomes Her, and Buena Vista. And then towards the bottom, guys, we have to look at what our bottom musicals are. Our lowest grossing musical last week was 6. Once again at the bottom, followed by Chicago. I've been hearing so many people talk about Oedipus. And this is its first week in previews as of like this grosses. So we will track Oedipus. I don't think I'm going to be seeing it, but I've been surprised by how many people I've realized are going, because I don't like, I know the story of Oedipus, but I don't know where this play like derived from, because it looks super political. Like it has to be like an adaptation in some way, right? Okay. I'm really excited to get into our Broadway news, because our first news story is that my man, I'm so proud of my man, Mr. Jonathan Bailey. You know him, you love him as Fiyero. I saw him on the West End, grace the stage as Richard II, just so incredibly. And if there was one person in the world that I think should win Sexiest Man Alive in 2025, it is the year of Jonathan Bailey. Yes! Congratulations! People Magazine's 2025 Sexiest Man of the Year. Our king, our dancing through life, amazing, stunning, beautiful, sexy man. Jonathan Bailey. Fiyero, we're so proud of you. And you're only going to get sexier, because For Good's about to come out. I know what we have coming. I have heard what John M. Chu said about As Long As You're Mine. And I know for a fact I am going to maybe need like cardiac help after the fact, because I think it's going to be a beautiful thing to witness Jonathan Bailey sing that amazing song. But I think it's going to hit me in my heart. Hit me deeply. I love this man. He is so hot. He is so cute. The best thing is, he actually seems like a great person. He said recently even that he's going to take a break from filming, because he is going to put his heart and soul into his LGBTQ, what is it? I assume it's like a foundation. There's the word, foundation. But this is why we love him. He is not just a pretty face. He is not just doing these action movies, although he is. I hope y'all saw Jurassic World, the latest one. He was very good in his slutty little glasses in that. But he actually is making good change. You want to know why Mr. Jonathan Bailey was so happy to be Sexiest Man Alive this year? Because he is setting a precedent as the first out LGBTQ person to ever be graced the name Sexiest Man Alive. That is an honor, and it is an honor that I'm shocked hasn't been done before, because as I'm pretty sure we all know, gay men are the hottest men. Look, we're musical theater girlies, and I'm going to tell you why, because I think I know. I think I've cracked the code on why musical theater girlies are so attracted to gay men. And it is because, yes, they have beautiful faces. It's true. It's obvious, okay? Yes, they are sexy. But we fall in love with their voices. Yup, that is what we fall in love with. The exterior could be mid, but when that voice is hitting, that is what we love. So, I hate to bring up an example, because I love this man so much. But my king, Andrew Rannells, I gotta say, he is extremely handsome. But I wouldn't necessarily say like if I saw him in a lineup of all of these super hot Hollywood men, I'd be like, that's my man right there. But when he starts opening his mouth and singing, that is what we like. That is my man. That is, okay. Example number 2. Norbert Leo Butz. Fierro. 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 Yes, he is a cutie pie. He is handsome. He is a good-looking guy. But that voice? Yeah. That is why we are in love with him. And that is how we fall in love with toxic tenors, okay? That is how. Because if you've got the voice, that's really all you need to bag a musical theater girly. And I've been thinking about this a lot, as y'all can probably all tell. But the thing about Jonathan Bailey that sets him apart, looks, 10. Voice, 10. Personality, 10. Charm, 10. I could not think of one imperfection on this man's head, aside from the fact that he does not like women, but that's okay. I want the men to have him because I think that they deserve that. The gay men deserve that as well. But I will say, Jonathan Bailey has dated a woman before. And I'm just a freak that goes way too deep on sides of the internet that maybe nobody should. But you know how like a lot of magazine publications say like every single person this person has dated since being a celebrity? Guilty. I've done it for Jonathan Bailey. And you know what? I'm not ashamed. I need to know who my man has dated because I was like, how is he single? He is so perfect. How is someone like him single? And so whenever I did that, you know, I just kept scrolling and there was a woman. But I'm pretty sure he said he's gay. So, I mean, in this, he says he's the first LGBTQ person. I'm going to get off of this topic because I think I'm driving it into the ground. But I love Jonathan Bailey. I'm real proud of you. He said in a statement, let's bring it back to my notes here, quote, "There's something about knowing when the invitation came in. It's amazing to be able to accept it without a second thought, knowing that it's meaningful and impactful as well as just an incredible and hilarious honor. It's not lost on me at all. It is an honor. He is honored to be the sexiest man alive, and we are all honored to be able to have access to his magazine cover because it is nice. He did a full article, and his cover, he did like a photo shoot with his dog. That dog is very cute. I've never wanted to be a dog more. He kisses his little puppy on its head. And yeah, I would like to be that dog. I'm not going to lie. But it's a very cute, charming, like lover boy, not like, ooh, I'm so hot, I'm too sexy for my shirt. Like it's not like giving like Antonio Banderas, like dripping with sweat, piercing abs on a cover. You know, it's not what it's giving. It's giving like, I'm just a cute guy who happens to be like the sexiest man alive. But like, I'm just have my dog and I'm like on a beach in Brighton and I'm just having some fish and chips. There's a photo of him like eating a French fry and he's like looking to the side. It's really, really hot and he's wearing like long johns. Oops, guys. I'm a bad podcaster. Wait, I did put it on Do Not Disturb. I don't know why I just got that notification. Anyways, yeah, it's a good day for the Jonathan Bailey girlies. And I hope this is a direction that People magazine will continue to consider, is shining a light on musical theater boys and how sexy they are. Might I raise you for next year, okay? An Aaron Tveit or a Jeremy Jordan? Might I just put my 2 cents in because we're headed in the right direction? Let's just take it a bit, just a step further for next year because I think we're onto something, People magazine. So let's keep it up. Can y'all tell I just want to talk about him for the rest of the episode? We have to move on though. Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, one of my favorite occasions, my favorite traditions is the parade. I love the parade. Every single year, they always have Broadway shows perform at the parade. This year, they have announced 3 shows that will be performing at the parade. Womp, womp. I'm kind of disappointed it's only 3. Why are we only doing 3? Let me tell you guys, because maybe some of my Broadway besties, maybe y'all don't go down all the rabbit holes that I do, but you probably do. Something that is very important to the culture of musical theater is these amazing Macy's Thanksgiving Day performances. Now, I am the last girl to recommend you Cats the musical, but you should really go and watch Cats. It is in probably the 90s or the 80s, okay? I think that's right. You should really look up Cats Macy's Thanksgiving Day performance. It's super good. It's a little immersive. They're like in the gutters of New York City, and it's very fitting for their musical. Of course, Dan Barry falling and getting his pants all wet at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Iconic. I love the Legally Blonde Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade where they're all wearing t-shirts for Legally Blonde rather than their costumes, because I think something was wrong with the costumes. Gonna have to revisit that one so I'm not spreading fake news. This is a pinnacle moment in our annual musical theater culture. We have these things. We have the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Big deal. Comes in November. And then it kind of is like, okay, these are the shows that are wanting to be publicized. These are the shows that are probably going to get big nominations. Keep an eye out for these shows. And it's a huge marketing moment for these certain shows. Then we have... what else other than Grammys? We're going to be talking about that too. Like the Grammy noms, those just came out, and then we have the Grammys coming up. So that's another moment because sometimes we get Grammy performances, but not often. And, but whoever wins the Grammy, if they're not already closed, sometimes we'll see a boost in ticket sales. And then, of course, we have the Tonys where they all perform. And then, of course, we also have morning show appearances. That's huge. Love morning show appearances for our musicals. So it's just these things. Theater doesn't usually get a big spotlight ever, especially on national TV. So these things are really important. And the fact that they are pulling back Broadway's time on the TV, that sucks. And I don't like it. And they've only chosen 3 shows, like I said. Buena Vista Social Club, amazing choice. I love that. I think that's perfect for Thanksgiving. Every performance they do, extremely high energy. It's what people are going to want to see on their TV sets. Wow, am I an 80-year-old lady? On their TV sets. Okay, anyways. Just in Time, another good choice. I like it. It's great. And lastly, we have Ragtime. All good choices. I don't want to take away any of those. But, okay, obviously I want Rob Lake Magic with special guest the Muppets to be on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Who doesn't want the Muppets to be on the parade route? That just makes perfect sense. So I think that should have been on. Chess? No chess? Okay, so are we already showing favoritism to Ragtime? Because I do have a problem with that. Ragtime deserves all of the airtime. They do. I'm really excited about Ragtime being on there. But how can you not do chess? Leah Michelle opened the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade with Rain on My Parade whenever she was not even in Funny Girl anymore. So why are we not doing this? That makes me mad. I also think Two Strangers would have really been nice to feature, but maybe there's something to the effects of if somebody hasn't seen it yet, they don't want to bring it on for a time slot in the parade because they're we need since Strangers is still in previews, Chess is still in previews, might I add, they have a really long preview. It's a whole entire month that Chess is in previews. I'm when are we going to get these opening night reviews? Still do not have them. But yeah, it's whatever. I bet they're still making changes and I'm interested to see how it has changed since I have seen it. But yeah, I'm just like, please, can we stop pulling back from Broadway? Because it's so important to have these TV appearances for Broadway. It boosts Broadway, and Lord knows Broadway needs some help financially. And it also just deprives us of these momentous occasions where we can see our favorite musicals on the TV. So it's a little disappointing. Also, no Queen of Versailles. Anybody surprised about that? Kind of. Kristen Chenoweth is a media darling, so that is kind of surprising. But I do think Two Strangers would have been so cute on Macy's, but maybe they'll do just like a little, like, before they go to commercial break feature. Also, like, just to add, remember when Andrew Rannells and Josh Gad semi-hosted the Thanksgiving Day Parade? That was a good time too. Okay, next we have the Grammy nominations for musical theater album. I'm going to rattle them off for you. In the nomination category, we have Buena Vista Social Club, Death Becomes Her, Gypsy, Just in Time, and maybe Happy Ending. A very, very good selection. Before I get to who is overlooked, let's discuss who we think is going to win. Now, if I were just to pick my favorite, obviously maybe Happy Ending, that they did win Best Score, but it's interesting because now Gypsy is in the category as well, being that they were a revival. I don't think it'll be Just in Time. I don't think it'll be Death Becomes Her, even though I'd be happy if it was. It could be Buena Vista Social Club because that is like a highly Grammy nominated and I'm sure award winning. I'm not sure about that. Album that it's based off of. So I could see Buena Vista taking it home, which I still haven't seen, by the way. I know I need to see Buena Vista. So if I were to choose, I think it would go between Gypsy or maybe Happy Ending. But I think I'm just being a little bit of like a diehard Gypsy stan, and it's probably actually going to go to maybe Happy Ending. Who was overlooked, you might ask? Interesting question, because Norma Desmond, Nicole Scherzinger announced these nominations, and Sunset Boulevard was open to be considered, but they did not get nominated. That's super weird to me. I don't understand how or why that would be. Dead Outlaw was not nominated, which I think they should have been, and I think they should win because it's such a good score. And Boop. I'm just so disappointed. Can Boop have a win? Boop deserves a win. Boop is the best. At least a nomination would have been nice. I love Boop. I love that score. I still sing it all the time. So good. So I am surprised Boop was not nominated, but considering Sunset wasn't even nominated, I'm like, okay, interesting. I'm surprised Gypsy was nominated over Sunset and Boop for that matter. But yeah, out of the ones that are nominated, my money is going to go with maybe Happy Ending. Close second to Buena Vista Social Club. And then third, for personal reasons, Gypsy. We do have some other fun in the Broadway Stratosphere Grammy news, and that is in reference to Wicked. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana got a nomination for Defying Gravity, and that is in the Best Pop Duo / Group Performance category. Let's see who else is in that category. Okay, Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters. That could win. That's a really good song. Oh, Gabriella from Cat's Eye. Hands off, Gabriella. Apata, that is still in the category. I would have thought that would have been last year. By Rosé and Bruno Mars, and 30 for 30 by SZA and Kendrick Lamar. So that's so insane that Defying Gravity is in the same category as SZA and Kendrick Lamar. That is crazy. I do feel like this will likely go to Apata, but it's like an old song. That's so last Tuesday, like we don't know. We're over Apata, even though it was kind of like a life-altering song. Everybody was bumping it. I think this will go to probably Golden because I do feel like K-Pop Demon Hunters has taken the world by storm. But obviously, if I were going to pick, I would think it would go to Cynthia and Ariana. And Wicked also got a film score nomination with Best Score Soundtrack for Visual Media category. So let's see who else they're up against. They're against A Complete Unknown, Timothée Chalamet, F1 the album, K-Pop Demon Hunters, which might win, and Sinners, that's another good one, and Wicked. So I feel like they definitely have a chance and definitely should win. The K-pop Demon Hunters, I feel like, is going to be a hard competition. Our last news stories, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, I feel like all of my news stories have interlocked this week. Like everything has led to the next. Like Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade led to Grammy Noms, and now Grammy Noms led to the fact that Boop is going on a national tour. They had teased it ever so slightly, but now it's official. Boop is headed on tour. Amazing, amazing choice. I think Boop will do fabulously on tour. I love this show. I need everybody and their mother to go and see this show when it comes to a city near you. And it probably will, because it is a 50-week national tour. That is really long. It is starting in the fall of 2026. So in a year from now, we got some time. And they have already announced where we'll kick off its tour in Rochester, New York at the West Her Auditorium Theater. Very cool. More cities, dates, and casting is yet to be announced. But I'm down. I'm down for this. And then I also forgot I have one more bonus news story for you guys. That Ragtime, this is why they call it Ragtime, Ragtime, has extended its run at the Vivian Beaumont Theater at Lincoln Center. It was originally going to complete its run in January, but now it has extended 5 more months into June 2026. Amazing. It is selling out. I'm really glad about this. I will go and see it in the dip, whatever that dip comes, if that dip ever comes, because it is completely and utterly sold out right now, and I just see no in sight at this point, but I do want to see it at the Vivian Beaumont and just be reminded, like, I'm in such a chess frame of mind, but I have to be reminded how great Ragtime is too, and that they are worthy competition of chess. And I do. I know that in my heart of hearts. But also, there's kind of tea because Cassie Levy, it was announced she was going to be in 2 Tony-eligible musicals in the same season as each other, which is really wild, and is going to be Ragtime and Lost Boys. But since Ragtime extended, Cassie Levy is no longer going to be in the Lost Boys, and apparently she's going to stay with Ragtime through the end of its run. However, whenever they announced that she was not going to be in Lost Boys, she said the reasoning was familial commitments. I don't want to dig into that too much. Not my business. And she's so perf. She is so perf in Ragtime. I did think it was funny though, because like, isn't her character's name Mother in Ragtime? So it's like familial commitments. She has to go be Mother. No, I'm sure it's actually something, who knows? Maybe her mom was like, girl, you gotta stay with Ragtime. It's the right thing to do. And that would be true. It would be weird to be in 2 different Tony eligible shows at the same time at the Tonys. Like, oh my gosh, skin in the game for 2 shows. That would be so stressful. And then also I just wanted to note, in order to stay relevant in Tony voters' minds, it is best for you to still be open when the Tony Awards are happening. And there's definitely a chance that if Ragtime had closed in January and Chess continued to be a wild success and was the it girl of the season, like I have been saying this entire time, that Tony voters would kind of be swayed to vote towards Chess rather than Ragtime. And I bet those producers of Ragtime are doing everything they can to get as many Tonys as they can, because they have an amazing cast. So it's kind of like a win-win. You get to keep Cassie Levy, and you get to stay prevalent in Tony voters' minds and still be open by the time Tonys roll around. And, you know, if the Tonys need somebody to cover their carpet or be in the press room, ask some really riveting questions, I know I may not look the part right now. Like, I'm kind of like in my pajamas, I'm not gonna lie. But I am the girl for the job. I am. So that is me starting my Tony campaign in November, because why not? Why the hell not? If you don't start now, you're already behind. And that's what I'm learning with Wicked. You would think Chess was what I was campaigning for, because I am really doing everything I can for the amazing producers of Chess. I am selling your show for you. I'm doing whatever I can. You bet your bottom dollar. Broadway Besties, This has been an extremely excellent and amazing episode of From the Mezzanine. Thank you so much for joining me wherever you're coming from. YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being one of my Broadway besties. You can find more From the Mezzanine at the Meet Me at the Stage Doors, which is a little bonus episode I do every single week for my personal Broadway besties over on the Patreon, $5.99 a month, patreon.com/FromTheMezzanine. You can also get access to all of the Meet Me at the Stage Door episodes through Spotify if you so choose. Could be easier for some if you want. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at From the Mezzanine Broadway. You can find all things From the Mezzanine at my gorgeous website, created through Wix. Little shout out for you guys, FromTheMezzanine.com. And with that, guys, I will see you next Tuesday. Bye! I'm seeing Stranger Carry Cake through New York City this week, and I'm really excited. Bye! I'll talk about it next week. See you then.